Welcome to the Freud's Angels weekly reading, bringing the collective guidance and understanding for this week's energy.
Remember, never give your power up to a reader or a reading. You always have the power of autonomy. Hi, angels. Welcome to the weekly reading. We are reading April 27th through May 3rd. We are headed into May. Can you believe that? I'm not really sure what's happening. The beginning of the year was such a
forever.
clusterfuck that it felt like it was forever. And then all of a sudden now we're in May almost. Like, what is happening to this world? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, it used to be time flies when you're having fun, but I feel like it might be right now. Time flies when you're trying to dissociate.
Yeah, the intensity
trying to
of what's
survive,
happening.
trying to just freaking figure it out. Like,
Who knows? Sorry. Oh God. Sorry, guys. It's like I'm just like, yeah, okay. Vanessa, tell us about the mermaids while I pull myself together.
Well, we will. Well, you know what? It was perfect that you said that exactly the way that you said it, because when I first picked out the card, I just laid it down on the futon next to me and like put them in order, and I was like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. And then when I picked up this card, I was struck. Like, I was like, oh shit, like the word friendship is on it, but that is not what I saw when I looked at the card. The two mermaids on it look like the same person. And I literally was like, are you your own friend? And I was like, oh shit. Okay, mermaids, that's where we're going today. And then when you look even deeper at the picture, the mermaid in the back looks like a younger version of the mermaid in the front. So now we're in a whole other place with this friendship card that has nothing to do with external and everything to do with internal. And so that to me is the message that we're going with. Y'all know that is what I love about Oracle cards, is that, you know, you can pick the same card 2 days in a row, and depending on the current energy, it can say something completely different to you. And that's what I love about it.
Context is everything.
Yeah, that air sign in me loves that it can be so free every single day, and that there aren't any fixed meanings necessarily. You know, the book tells you some stuff, but we know I don't do what I'm told. Anyways.
True story.
So very much the message today is, are you your own friend, and or are you being a friend to your past self?
Yeah.
So that is a very powerful message, because we tend to beat the shit out of ourselves in terms of our past. And as I'm speaking right now, I'm like, I don't want to say any more things because this feels personal and I don't want to. Because I'm going through some things myself right now about my past and my own participation in certain things in my past, specifically relationships, and how I have cultivated just negative things or allowed negative things, or my part in creating traumas that are still with me today, and how when I'm having to face it right now while I'm in like a budding relationship stage, how hard it is for me to reconcile with that person sometimes. There's been a lot of work in that space, but there still is a lot more to be done. I'm realizing. And like I tell everybody, you know, you can do so much, but then when you get in a situation, that's when you're going to know, number one, how much you've done, and number two, how much is still there. You can't figure that out until your emotions of current start to come in. So, you know, do I treat my past version of me the way that I treat a friend? And sometimes I don't, right? Like the things that I have said about myself, I would never say about a friend who had done the same thing, or a client, right? Like I would never be like, wow, you know what? That was really stupid. And now, now you've ruined today because of what you did in the past. But if I'm sitting by myself feeling some type of way, that energy can come in pretty quickly. And then I'm not being a friend to myself. I'm being an enemy to myself in that moment. And so, yeah, screw you, card, but thanks. Thanks for the self-friendship reminder, because like I can't say it enough that like struck me so hard that that's what this is about. And I think everybody has like there's value in doing that, of being able to sit with yourself and say, are you actually loving and understanding and having compassion for past versions of you and childhood versions of you and all of those things? Or are you still carrying resentment and judgment and all kinds of things that make you feel like that person was inadequate? Because God, it's not true, right? Like we always are doing our best, whatever our best is. And if our best is creating from frantic, scared energy, that is just the reality of it, is that that was all we could access at that time because we didn't have other tools. And the gratitude can come in for having different tools. I have gratitude for having found some tools so that I didn't recreate some of those things in the past that my saboteur was right there trying, like, oh, I have a sword, I can do this, and it was like, please don't stop. No. Wait, just wait, I'll let you do it if it's time, but I don't think it's time. I think we need to do something differently. But I had to be able to sit with myself and be like, why you did the things that you did before. You have to read this with your new eyes of all of the things that you understand about yourself and that version of you, and even the versions of the people that you were co-creating that chaos with, and just like sit with that and hug that and have compassion for that, but also leave it there because it can stay there. It does not have to come forward.
Right.
Yeah, that was the whole trip I just went on.
Well, nothing like being called out by your own cards.
I know. I was like, when I saw it first, I was like, oh, friends, like I need to find friends. And then when I looked at it, I was like, no, oh no, there's something else completely going on here.
Yeah. Yeah. And two, I mean, yes, angels, you're going to hear about parts work for the rest of the time I'm on this journey of podcast, because this is what I do. This is what I love. This is my obsession right now. And this is the thing that has afforded me the healing I've received. So you're going to experience it with me. If a card could ever indicate the importance of something like a parts work type of energy, not that it's just that energy of like, how am I reacting to the wounded parts of me that are creating these triggers? Like, am I reacting to them like shutting them down like everybody else has done in my entire life? Or am I nurturing them with the love and kindness that they needed in the moment, which is why they were created, because they didn't have it.
Yeah.
And so I love that card. I really do. Well, and we're going to add onto that calling out of things.
Great.
So
I'm very comfortable right now. So let's definitely do some more.
So the surrender card this week is surrender stress.
Okay, sorry. I can't hold it together.
Take a few deep breaths and exhale the tension you've built up in your body. Let the stress go as you come back to your center, AKA the core self and parts work. I don't know. I don't have much else to say. It's just kind of like,
what we're saying is don't send a text.
Yes. Don't do it. Take a breath, exhale the tension, get out of like that space, the spiral you're in, step back from it, observe it as if it's an energy in front of you, and offer it what it's needing: reassurance, love, kindness, and compassion. And that's what, they talk about this to your center. Your center is your core self. It's your sacred self. It's the self that has that compassion and healing and love that will help that part feel safe and feel like it can trust you. That's the healing. That's how the healing happens in IFS, is that you create space, you offer it validation, you tell it how much you absolutely understand, because you do, because you've been through it. And then you offer it, maybe, what about this? Let's try this. You offer it love, you offer it what it needed, and then you continue on. And over time, you gain that trust. And the stress it still happens. Believe me, I've had opportunities too recently where I've had to actively practice the work that I do. And, and it's like, it's not easy. It's not that the stress isn't there, but the the time spent in those stressful places is far shorter. Right? We're never going to be in a world where we're not triggered, because we can't control the world, but we can understand the best ways we use to support ourselves and our friends to ourselves and treat ourselves well. It's, and it's that whole idea of what you were saying about, would I say this to my friend or would I say this to a client? And I used to say that when I first got into the healing like world many years ago. I used to say to myself, would you say this to a child?
Yeah.
And it was and in saying that and doing the work I do now, well, all of my parts are generally of a very young age, very adolescent age, because that's when they were created. And so I'm like, no, I wouldn't say it to a child, but I'm saying it to me.
Yeah.
And my part that is a
It's fine
child.
to say it to my child. It's not.
So yeah, it's a journey, but this whole thing we're talking about and everything we're saying here is the journey that when you're on it and you're working through it creates the most trust within yourself, and it creates a sense of allyship, and it creates this sense of, if shit goes wrong or I make a bad decision, I'm not going to come in with those guns ablazing being like, you fucking idiot. I'm going to say, wow, okay, that wasn't the best decision, but what do we need to do? How do we need to prepare? What's the next step? What's the way out of this? What are we getting from this? It's more of softening towards myself. It's less rigid. It's more soft. It's more loving. It's more kind. And that is what healing is in some aspects, right? I think that's where we're all striving and we're all headed to be. So
yeah, and I think stress is like stuff that we're holding on to super tightly with a super tight fist, right? Because there's either like an anxiety that we can't trust that it's going to be okay, or we feel like there's too many things for us to manage. And so we're stressing our nervous system, right? Like our nervous system is feeling stress, and so we become cognizant of that. And like being able to surrender stress or surrender to like stress is really just kind of asking questions. Are there things that I'm putting on my plate that don't need to be there? Am I over exaggerating the place of this in my life right now to the point where I don't need to, and that could help me release the stress? I mean, that happens more often than I think a lot of people understand. Is like, man, I'm making this way more pivotal in my life than it actually is right now. And so wow, it feels good to be able to say, this is not that intense that I have to carry it with this much weight. What can I think of instead, right? Like, and being able to, like this afternoon, I fully plan to lay on the couch and watch the rest of the Masters because it's going to be freaking amazing. It's very close right now. We're obviously recording this not on the day that's coming out, or the week that it's coming out, but I fully intend to do that. And in order to do that, I have to be able to stop thinking about all the things that I think are so freaking important that I have to do right now. It's pivotal that I do it right now. It's not. Most of the things that I think are pivotal, number one, take 2 seconds to do, and number two, can absolutely wait until I have done something that I really am excited to do. So yeah, that kind of goes in turn with being a friend to myself. Like then I'm going to have to make sure that later on I do not beat myself up for having just laid on the couch and watched golf.
right. Hell no. That's the fun time. That's the fun time we have in life. That brings us joy.
Yeah.
All right. So our money card this week is, it is safe for me to spend money. I know there is always more where that came from. And that if you have a problem with spending, it is safe for you to spend money. But I would say, because I'm one of those people, I would say inquire within with why you want to spend the money before you do it. Then you'll have the answer you need in order to understand whether that's the next step. But money will come, but we have to make sure that it's something we're not using spending money as a reason to heal something, to fulfill something within us. That's when it becomes kind of toxic. So yes.
And
I my caveat.
Bachelorette weekend with that in mind, where I was like, this is an amazing thing. You are doing great. So go have fun. But it was not within excess. I wasn't like, ooh, I'm being extravagant. So then I spent more money, that way. It was just like, you're here to have fun, eat, drink, be merry. You're fine. You'll make up the money. And I did. I looked at my schedule and I was like, God damn, that's full. And I was like, That's because the money came right back around. Look at that. Like, because you know it, you trust it. You're not going beyond. You're just allowing yourself to be in.
Yep, absolutely. Well, my friends, I hope you have a good week, and we will see you soon. Take care.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
We hope we gave you something to support your journey.
Check out our Facebook or Instagram page to connect with us.
Have a great week.